Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, city volunteers are reaching out to help Hurricane Isaac victims in the Dominican Republic by holding an aid distribution. In a new round of feature reports on invading species, we follow the experts as they work to control the spreading of spot-legged tree frog. And Taiwan's doll-making industry in New Taipei City is flourishing once more thanks to a group of hard-working designers. In August of this year, Hurricane Isaac not only struck the United States, but also the Dominican Republic. Situated close to the river, the village of Habanero suffered extensive damage in the flooding. This month, city volunteers provided villagers with vitally needed relief items, as well as red envelopes containing Master Zhenyan's blessings.
In the wake of Hurricane Isaac, the village of Habanero was awash in a sea of mud. A week later, with many of the houses still flooded, residents were forced to live in temporary shelters. Although the waters have receded, houses are still filled with mud. People were lucky to escape with their lives, much less their possessions. Former local government official Roberto Felix assisted in the charitable effort. By way of introducing Tzu Chi, he displayed a red envelope of blessings given to him personally by Master Zhenyan 14 years earlier.
This was given to me by Master Zhenyan, a blessing of limitless peace and tranquility. We thank Tzu Chi volunteers for teaching us to selflessly love and serve others.
Felix has assisted Tzu Chi in providing disaster relief since 1998. After Hurricane Noel struck the village in 2007, Tzu Chi was also there to provide aid. Their coming together again was like a meeting of old friends. Tzu Chi's sign language lessons and the distribution ceremony created a warm and convivial atmosphere for the villagers. The red envelopes the villagers received all held special blessings from Master Zhenyan.
In my heart, I feel great peace at reading the Jing's aphorism. I hope I can be like you at Tzu Chi, volunteering to help others.
This year, 130 households received assistance. In addition to food supplies, Tzu Chi also provided other necessities, giving residents everything they need to put their lives and home back in order. These Dominican villagers know that they can always rely on Taiwan's Tzu Chi in time of need.
3-year-old Ivanuro from Malaysia's Sabah suffers from epilepsy and blood infection and needs dialysis treatment. However, the family does not have the means to install clean running water at home, which is essential to ensure the future health of the girl. The doctors therefore contacted Tzu Chi, who arrived to do their best for the family.
In Malaysia, 3-year-old Ifan Nurul cries as her mother, Misa, administers kidney dialysis, while a Tzu Chi volunteer tries to comfort the little girl. This 5-minute procedure takes place 5 times a day and is torture for both mother and child.
First, when the epilepsy appeared, we went to the doctors and they said the children would need dialysis because her blood is infected and also shown a high urine protein count, so we had no choice but to give her dialysis to save her life.
Living on the outskirts of Sabah in Western Beaufort, transportation is a financial burden for Misa's family. So at-home peritoneal dialysis was their best option.
The doctors say peritoneal dialysis needs a sterile environment and asked if we had running water at home. So I told him the truth, and that was we use well water.
The husband's fishing income covers medical expenses, but not much else is left to pay for the installation of running water at home. The hospital contacted Tzu Chi for help.
This is our uniform. No matter where on earth, our uniforms are the same.
After receiving a call from Laika's hospital, Tzu Chi volunteers drove 2 hours from Kota Kinabalu to Western Beaufort to assist in applying for the installation of running water.
This well water is actually just a hole in the ground. It's mostly used for toilet water. They still have to go into the city to buy water and pay for bringing it back.
Berapa satu?
RM1.20.
10 liter. Oh, satu hari mau guna satu tong lah.
Ya.
To ask our relatives for assistance is difficult as their financial situation is same as ours. So we are really grateful for Tzu Chi for helping out our family, especially Ifa.
Pada persatuan Tzu Chi yang sanggup menolong kami sekeluarga dan si Ifa.
In providing running water for Ifa, the volunteers also promised to stay by her side and help her overcome her illness.
Staying in Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Shouhua has been selling non-vegetarian noodles for many years. However, the selling of meat made her uneasy because they were in violation of Tzu Chi's 10 precepts. Undecided, it took misfortunes to force her to take initiative. Feeling the impermanence of life, Wang Shouhua finally made the decision to sell vegetarian lunchboxes.
Picking up fresh vegetables in the market, Wang Xiuhua feels happy. In the past, she sold non-vegetarian noodles and she went through an internal struggle whenever buying meat for the meals.
Every day when I closed the noodle shop, I felt unhappy because I knew I was not supposed to sell meat.
As a Tzu Chi volunteer, Wang needs to abide by Tzu Chi's 10 precepts, one of which is do not kill. She planned to close the noodle shop and sell beverages, but her plan was shelved because of various reasons. Later, she went to Canada to visit her elder brother, only to find he had lost his memory due to Parkinson's disease.
I'm no longer able to hear his thoughts, as he will never know what I'm talking about. It's really distressing.
This misfortune was followed by her husband's heart attack. The impermanence of life made her realize there was no time to waste.
Therefore, I decided to take initiative and explore my own opportunities.
Wang Xiuhua decided to sell vegetarian lunchboxes instead. Although she does not earn as much money, she's now free from anxiety.
I am at peace. When I think of the vegetarian meals I cooked, I feel very happy.
Xiuhua now realizes that a life free from anxiety is worth its weight in gold.
On September 15th, Tzu Chi volunteers in New Zealand held a blessing ceremony, which was joined by students from the Jingsi Chinese class. The volunteers discussed the benefits of vegetarianism by explaining to the students that going meatless is not only good for their health, but helps save our planet as well.
Under the guidance of volunteers, students from the local Jingsi Chinese class start off the blessing ceremony. The volunteers then teach the children that if they love animals, they should adopt a meatless diet.
I will play with the animals, but I won't hurt them.
Don't be mean, we need to adopt a meatless diet.
这都是呢，在人类里呢，不知觉中所结下的。
After listening to the words of Master Zhen Yan, everyone understands the need to value life, become a vegetarian, and do good deeds.
When your mother gives you an allowance, you should save it so the money can help the needy. You can contribute your time and money to help others, right?
Watching the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra, the children might not understand the meaning behind the performance. However, the movements hold their attention. Volunteers hope that events like this will encourage these youngsters to contribute their share to help the needy in the future.
globalization has brought many benefits in terms of easier access to goods from around the world. However, on the back of this global trade has been the uncontrolled spread of unwanted pests. Sometimes these species find a balance within the local ecosystem. Other times the introduced species becomes invasive, which means that it starts to upset the natural balance by outcompeting species native to the area. This is the case with the spot-legged tree frog, which was accidentally introduced to Taiwan in 2006. Since its first appearance, it has spread to most of Taiwan's west coast, where it outcompeted Taiwan's indigenous tree frog. Although the threat is not serious, researchers have already begun removing the invading tree frog in an effort to control its exploding population and head off more serious problems down the road.
We are now going to look at a trap that was recently set by researchers.
This was set in the morning.
Researchers placed insects and arthropods as bait to analyze the feeding habits of this invasive species, the spot-legged tree frog. This is just an ordinary garden, complete with water buckets for watering crops. It is also a perfect breeding ground for the spot-legged tree frog.
We have discovered that slightly larger water systems that are set off by themselves in a dry location and separated from other water resources are an ideal choice for the homes of these frogs.
Today we're going to try to bring the spot-legged tree frog under control.
Professor Yang Yiru, who has been called the Frog Princess, has over 20 years of experience of working with amphibians.
This one here, he's on the screw pine. There's a risk of getting stuck by the plant when I reach for him. Ouch, I got pricked by the plant, but I got it. You see the legs? They are like white points on a black field. The lines on him are rather thick, and the color is tending towards brown.
Invasive alien species are now being recognized as a major crisis facing the environment in the 21st century. This frog was introduced as a result of human activity.
In some man-made wetlands, they introduced aquatic plants and the frogs arrived in that way.
From when it was discovered in Zhanghua in less than 6 years, the spot-legged tree frog has spread to much of Taiwan's west coast and can be found up to altitudes of 530 meters. Currently, it is putting immense pressure on the survival of other native amphibian species.
That is a tree frog native to Taiwan. It occupies the same natural niche as the spot-legged tree frog. As you can see, the Chinese tree frog is smaller than the spot-legged tree frog, so it has trouble competing with it. Thus, the spot-legged tree frog has become the dominant species in this particular niche.
Of course, the frog itself has done nothing wrong. It has simply grown where unsuspecting humans have placed it, but in order to preserve the natural balance, it needs to be removed.
Okay, everyone gather around and let's see the result of our efforts.
Altogether, we collected 114, including the 2 we just got. The total is 116.
Once collected, the frogs are brought to the Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Studies at Donghua University in Hualien. Researchers are trying to outline the diet of the frog and the complications that such a diet might bring with it.
In May, in all the frogs that we captured in Bali, their stomachs were full with the remains of oriental cockroaches. Close to 85 or 90% of the frogs have parasites, some just 1 or 2, some as many as 20 to 30.
Although the spot-legged tree frog has yet to become a large menace to the environment, removal efforts have already started in earnest. But some say the battle has perhaps already been lost.
I'm pessimistic about our chances. I think the time have effectively removed these frogs has already passed. Now their numbers are too large. It might be impossible to fully get rid of them. Over half a century ago, Taishan district, which is situated in the now new Taipei city, was once known for its production of Barbie dolls. The doll industry began to fade away after the American toy company relocated abroad in 1987. However, today, through an employment program, many retired women are returning to the workforce and coming together to design dolls with a Taiwanese touch. In 1967, American toy company Mattel established a factory in Taishan of the then Taipei County. Though the company relocated abroad after 1987, the making of these dolls stayed in Taishan. Through an employment program, some retired women have been encouraged to re-enter the workforce.
The skirt and lace were donated by a volunteer who doesn't need them anymore, so I took them after seeing if it's suitable or not and designed doll clothes with it.
Wan Xueqian was a patchwork teacher, and after joining the Meining workshop, she's using her skills to design clothes for the dolls. Though earning only half of her previous salary, the woman is content with her life.
When I go to the shopping mall, though I stroll around looking for clothes, I only look at them, and when I'm ready to spend, I will buy Barbie stuff.
When we are done, we can start on the hair. You can leave it naturally as it is, or you can comb the hair and tie it into a ponytail.
Previously a hairstylist, Zhou Jingfang moved to Taishan after she got married. Zhou never thought that she would become a doll clothes designer one day.
The combination of hairstyling and fashion design is very interesting because both can be creative and artistic. When you put on a beautiful gown, if you don't take note of the hair and leave it hanging around, the clothes won't stand out either.
After the popular Taiwanese singer Feng Feifei passed away earlier this year, her supporters asked the Meining workshop to design a Feng Feifei doll.
So you see, without the hat, it's just like that. But if you put on a hat, even if you don't do any styling on the hair, it looks quite alright. Styling is something that needs to be done from top to the bottom, from the inside to the outside.
Meining's employees are from all walks of life. Li Suhui, who has over 20 years of experience in designing bridal dresses, has also joined the designers' ranks.
I remember when I was still in the bridal industry, the factory owner once said, "You are designing a product, not an artwork. If it is an art piece, it won't sell well. But I think when I'm making a dress for the doll, I am designing artwork, not a product. With a bit of creativity, the doll will stand out."
It is with that passion and interest that these designers are able to come up with creative new ideas.
Some of our staff used to be hairstylists or patchwork teachers, but all of them have found a new interest and passion in this workshop. It is also because they enjoy what they are doing here that they are able to give our dolls a new look.
Through the employment program, Taishan is once again flourishing, and these designers all vow to come up with different designs that represent Taiwan as a way to promote the country's unique culture. Next, we meet Zheng Yiting, a Ciqing who recently came back to Taiwan from South Africa. Zheng Yiting had been living in South Africa for 10 years and joined the Ciqing Club when she was in university. However, she did not rush to find a job as other college graduates, but decided to help at Ciji's free clinic. Although she did not speak Hakka, she was still able to overcome the language barrier with love and a smile.
Among the field of Tzu Ji's blue and white uniforms stand Tzu Qin Zheng Yiting, who is taking part in Tzu Ji's work. After coming back to Taiwan from South Africa, she decided to join the free clinic held in Miaoli's Zhuolan. Although Yiting cannot speak Hakka, she can still speak simple Taiwanese and use body language to communicate with the elderly.
I don't know that in Taiwan there are places where people don't speak Taiwanese and Mandarin. I was a little shocked. I appreciate having the chance to help here.
In Miaoli's Nanzhuang, Tima doctor Lin Chongqi is checking on children's teeth. Their simple gesture of thankfulness touches him very much.
When I see the children's smiles and the elderly expressing their thankfulness, I feel satisfied and content.
At the free clinic, Tima doctors and volunteers find happiness in helping others.
On September 16th, Northern Tima doctors in Taiwan arrived in Gongliao district to hold a free clinic and make house calls. This time the event was joined by 81-year-old Huang Lei, who specializes in Chinese acupressure. In spite of being a senior herself, Dr. Huang happily follows the Tima doctors and gives other seniors a massage to make them feel better.
Teaching everyone how to relax is 81-year-old Dr. Huang, who's performing house calls with the Tima doctors. Visiting Taiwan from Australia, Dr. Huang decided to join Tima doctors to visit seniors in Gongliao district. Dr. Huang uses her specialty, which is Chinese acupressure, to help a dialysis patient relax. The senior couldn't believe that Dr. Huang is actually older than her. Miss Guo, who has been a dialysis patient for more than 10 years, lost her son 2 years ago. Whenever the Tima doctors and volunteers visit, she always happily welcomes them and treats them like family. Tima doctors and Dr. Huang also arrived at a 90-year-old senior's home. A doctor reminds the senior to keep an eye on her blood pressure, while Dr. Huang massages the senior's hands and shoulders. The regular visits by Tima doctors warm the hearts of each and every senior.
To inspire entrepreneurs to do good deeds, the Kaohsiung Tzu Ji Honorary Board organized a tea party where they invited local businessmen to participate. The owner of a famous restaurant, Huang Fu Shou, not only offered his restaurant as the event site, but also kindly provided vegetarian meals. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.